But you just look at it and the momentum that this kid's got and the growth that he's had. You know, when he boxed Dubois last time out, it was 2023, he was 25 years of age. He was still very much developing and learning. And I feel that winning them world titles and getting those victories over the people that you've just mentioned has added to him, and he's grown as a person, as a character, and that's making him physically and mentally better. And boxing is all about timing. Yeah. You look at this right now and you go, Usyk hasn't improved since that last one. And I think that Daniel Dubois has, and you just...
Hi all, Loz D Punch Out TV. Hope you're all well out there on this Tuesday afternoon, or should I say Tuesday evening. I quickly want to talk about this clown, Spencer Oliver. Seeing he's done a podcast yesterday with none other than Simone Jordan, and he had Harlem Eubank on there, and they were just a little snippet where they were talking about the Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois fight, which is next weekend, and who would win and stuff like that, how they see the fight going. But I just want to address Spencer Oliver on a few things, what he said, because I don't know if it's propaganda what they're putting out there, but Spencer Oliver, so-called boxing expert, I don't know if anyone got onto this, but some of the stuff what he come out with is absolute bullshit. So, just quickly, you've heard the start of the video. Now, in that quick snippet what I played, he puts that Daniel Dubois has gone on to improve since he lost to Alexander Usyk, which he has, and he says that Alexander Usyk hasn't improved. But first of all, he says that Daniel Dubois is a different fighter now since the fight in 2022. He turns around and says to Harlem Eubanks, 2022, since he lost to Alexander Usyk. Well, he didn't lose to Alexander Usyk in 2022. He lost to him in August of 2023. As I'm looking at it now on BoxRec, it's August 2023 that Daniel Dubois lost to Alexander Usyk. Second of all, he says he's gone on to do great things since he picked up them titles after losing to Alexander Usyk. What titles are they, Spencer? Because Daniel Dubois, to my knowledge, hasn't picked up any titles. He hasn't picked up any titles. But you said he's gone on to win them titles. He hasn't won any titles, and he hasn't won a title. You could call him a email champion, whatever, but he hasn't beaten anybody to take the belt off him. As we all know, he beat Filip Hrgović because Filip Hrgović was the number one mandatory. So therefore, he was automatically elevated to the IBF champion because, obviously, Alexander Usyk got stripped after the first Tyson Fury fight. After he came undisputed, he got stripped of the IBF belt. Daniel Dubois won the IBF interim or whatever it's called, which is the next belt down from the world title, from the main world title. He beat Filip Hrgović for that. He didn't win no world titles, and he didn't beat anyone to win a world title, let alone world titles. And then Spencer Oliver then goes on to say that he doesn't believe that Alexander Usyk has gone on to improve since that fight with Daniel Dubois, whereas Daniel Dubois has. So, okay. So, Alexander Usyk hasn't gone on to improve since he beat Daniel Dubois. So, beating Tyson Fury twice means that he hasn't improved. And not only beating Tyson Fury twice, he also beat a heavyweight and another heavyweight champion to take the belt off him, the WBC belt off him, to become undisputed. So since he beat Daniel Dubums, he's not only beaten another heavyweight and took his belt off him, he became undisputed. So he didn't improve. And then he goes and fights him for a second time and absolutely schools him in the second fight. And took, as well as took his zero. So he beat Tyson Fury, who was the so-called lineal champion and had a WBC belt. He took his O and he beat him twice and became undisputed. But he hasn't gone on to improve since he beat Daniel Dubois in August of 2023. I tell you what, man, the hypocrisy is on another level. The biasness towards Alexander Usyk is on another level. Daniel Dubois has beaten Filip Hrgovic, Jarrell Big Baby Miller and Anthony Joshua. He never won a world title. He won an interim belt. And Usyk got stripped, therefore he became a world champion. Because he beat the number one mandatory. He didn't take a belt off anyone. Usyk took a belt off someone, took his O, and became undisputed. But you're saying that he's not improved since then, since he beat Dubois in August of 2023, even though you said it was 2022. Absolute garbage. What the Pob, aka Bacon Ears, is spewing out. It's absolute garbage. I've just pulled you on that. It's so easy to pull these talk sports, so-called boxing experts who just frape out a load of trash. Or should I say they frape out a load of trash. There's three things I've just pulled you on. Now, it's up to you. I know you've picked Usyk to get beat off Dubois. That's fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking simply about you spewing out stuff what's not correct. There's no facts there. So let me know what you think. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the week with another video.